Okay, our DMRs I'm going to try to make them look a little different. You're going to do what you normally do and just type your last name, your first name, and whichever period you have math. But then when you go to the next page, I have it reading to you. So
the first key concept that we're going to be dealing with is volume. Volume is a three-dimensional space occupied by a solid, liquid, or gas. So basically, it is the space that is taken up by an object.
This next part doesn't ask you to do anything, but
the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism is the length times the width times the height. You will need to use the picture to determine what is the height, what is the length, and what is the width.
The next one.
The first thing that you need to do when determining how to use the formula is you have to decide which size of your rectangular prism is the width, the height, and the length. So the first question is asking you what is the width of the rectangular prism shown. Be sure to type your answer as W space equals the number and then space and then cm per centimeter.
So I've done that. I'm choosing 7.4 as the width. That could also be the width. This is usually the height, but whichever.
This question is asking you, what is the length of the rectangular prism shown? So you need to choose one of the different sides. So which side is the length? You will need to type your answer as L space equals space the number space centimeters.
So as you can tell, this could also be the length. It's whichever one you want to, but each one has to be represented. You can't use the same number twice.
This question asks you to determine what is the height of the rectangular prism shown. Make sure that you type your answer as H space equals space the number space cm per centimeter.
Okay, so I just typed that example down there.
This question asks you to use the correct formula from above, which is at the top of the screen, if you're going to substitute the letters that you determined in the previous three questions into that formula and solve. When you type your answer, make sure that you type your answer as capital A space equals your number answer with one decimal point space cm cat 2.
Okay, so I'm doing what she said, or what was said and explained. I'm going to substitute in my numbers. So I'm going to put 7.4 where the L is. I'm going to put 4.7 where the W is. I'm going to substitute in 5.9 where the H is, and then hopefully rewrite it where it's legible. So A equals 7.4 times 4.7 times 5.9. And then I'm going to grab my calculator. You guys have Desmos. So let's see if I can do Desmos on here. Maybe Desmos calculator. There it is. Desmos calculator. For some reason, I got my face instead. Sorry. So I'm going to do 7.4 times 4.7 times, gotta go find it, 7.4, 4.7, and 5.9. You'll notice that this looks exactly like what I have here. So when I press my enter, my answer is 205.2. The listen to instructions and the written instructions both said 1 decimal point. So I'm going to look next door. So it's 0.20. That 0 tells me to stay at 0.2. So my answer is 205.2. Coming back over here, not that one. I will type in, I forgot it already, 205.2. And I have to type it as instructed, capital A space equals space 205.2 space, and my units are centimeters, cm, and it's centimeters. I use the shift 6, that makes that caret, squared. I hit next.
Key concept number 2, the total area of the surface of a three-dimensional object is the area of all of the surfaces added together. This picture shows how each side of the rectangular prism has 2 of them. So you use the area formula for all of the rectangles and you add them together. As you determine the length, the height, and the width earlier, you will simply substitute in and solve.
Okay, so let's make that make sense. Let me erase what I've got there. This is asking the same questions. It's supposed to have a voice note, so I'll fix that by the time you guys get it. I've got it at, oh, it's not working because I have that on. Sorry.
The first thing that you need to do when determining how to use the formula is you have to decide which size of your rectangular prism is the width, the height, and the length. So this first question is asking you what is the width of the rectangular prism shown. Be sure to type your answer as W space equals the number and then a space and then cm or centimeters.
So these are just like what you did on the previous problem. It wants you to determine which of these numbers is which. Which one is L, which one is W, and which one is H. Which one is the width? I chose 7.4 as my width. So that means I'm going to choose 4.7 as my, sorry. I'm going to choose 4.7 as my length. You can use the voice note again, but it says exactly what it says last time. And this one wants to know height. So height space equals space 5.9 space in the units, which is in this case centimeters. Now this is the part where it might get a little complicated, and you should use your desks, and what I'm writing you should write. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to remind myself of what the formula is. SA, surface area, equals 2, parentheses, L times H plus W times H plus L times W. So hopefully I will get that in the same order. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. Surface area equals, and you should be writing this on your desk, on your paper, on something, L times H plus W times H plus L, I don't know why I wrote down the formula, and I'm also going to write down L equals, and I believe I chose 7.4, H equals 5.9. You should have centimeters written after that, but I'm writing with the mouse, so it's hard. And then 4.7. Then what I'm going to do is use substitution. Everywhere that I see a W, it's going to be substituted in. Everywhere that I see an H, I'm going to substitute it in and rewrite it. Everywhere that I see an L, it's going to be substituted in and rewritten. So I'm going to rewrite that. and you are going to write it on your desk and make sure that you're right. Okay, I have substituted all the numbers in. See, my L and my H, my W and my H, and then my L and my W. The next step is to use your calculator. You're going to multiply these two and write it down here. You're going to multiply these two and write it down here. You're going to multiply these two and write it down here. That has to do with your orders of operations. So I want you to use your calculators on Desmos and do that, and then check your answers here. Okay, I'm also going to note, and I'm putting it in red because I've made an error. If we had looked at the formula, if I had looked at the formula and paid attention versus being distracted, there is a 2 in front of this. So I am adding these so that we remember that step. In the picture at the top, and I might be able to scroll. At the picture at the top, see, it shows you that there's 2 of these squares. There's 2 of these squares if you open it up. We will be doing an activity with that, but we haven't done it yet. So I need to bring that 2 with the parentheses down because it's important. So I've used my calculator and I have multiplied the 7.4 times 5.9 and I got 43.66 and I got 27.73 and I got 34.78. Due to order of operations, the next thing I need to do is add all of these together, still bringing down my 2, and I'm putting the answer to all of this inside of here. So use your calculators, solve that on your desks, and then come back here and check to see if you're right. All right, the answer that my calculator said was 106 and 17/100. The last step that we have to do is multiply the 2 times the 106 and 17/100. And I will write that answer on the next step. I want you guys to try it and come back and check your answer. All right, I got 212 and 34/100. And remember, our instructions up here told us that we needed to make sure that we answer it correctly with centimeters and the caret squared. So centimeters, caret, well, I'll just write it like this, but I'll show you how to type it. So your answer, I have to write it down, 212.34 is, it tells me to type it as capital A, press the space bar, equals space, capital A space bar, equals space, 212.34 space CM and shift 6. That makes the caret that's telling us it's going up. It's a superscript squared. And when I hit submit, hopefully, cross our fingers, it all works out right. Get 5 points for doing that. So, oh, I typed something wrong. What did I type wrong? Let's see. So remember, the point of this is to check your answers and see where you went wrong. None of those gave me anything. This answer was correct. It liked it. Okay. And this answer, it did not like the order. So these were Miss Began's errors, not student errors. This one, where did it go wrong? Oh, here's where it went wrong. It's asking for the volume. I did surface area. Okay, so this is the correct answer. I went and got my calculator and made sure that everything was correct. As you'll notice, but it's backwards. You just take the length, all 3 numbers, multiply them together, and you get your correct answer. For some reason, I guess I typed something in incorrect there. Yeah, so no, it's still asking. I don't know. We'll talk about it in class, but this is the correct answer for the volume. That's why. Miss Began, this answer is the correct answer. I have to go back and correct this. I copied and pasted the question, and so that is why that is there. The 212.34, that is the correct answer. So when you take this test, or when you take this DMR, you'll see that your answer was right.